So the three things that I like to check before I commit to any land deal, and honestly before I even decide to reach out to them, I'm going to check, first of all, is it listed on the MLS with a realtor right now? If it's not a property that you drove past and maybe you haven't had a chance to see if there's a literal sign out front for sale, I would suggest running the address through on literally anything, realtor.com, Zillow, and just check and see whether or not it's currently listed with a realtor. For wholesaling purposes, in my opinion, off market is always best. After I check and make sure whether or not it's listed with a realtor, I like to go in with the property appraiser's office. I'm in Florida, so for us, it's going to be the property appraiser's office. I'll check on there to see who is the current owner that they have listed. It may not be 1,000% accurate. Sometimes there's been a transaction that's just happened. They could be in the middle of literally doing a quick claim deed or something like that. But I like to see what's supposed to be on there. It may even give me a hint as to whether there's one of the owners that's currently listed, if they have passed away, and now there's a probate that's been initiated on the property for that person's estate. It's a really nice heads up to have ahead of time, just so that way I know, okay, am I supposed to be having this conversation with a next of kin, an heir, what's going on with that situation? I really like to know before I start dialing a whole bunch of phone numbers. It really helps with my approach on literally when I first make my phone calls. The last thing that I really like to check is do a really quick comp on the price for that property in that area. I'm not going to take a ton of time on this. I'm not going to sit here and do an hour-long deep dive on what the recent sales is. I will go in on either Realtor.com or Zillow. Again, they have their recently sold or just sold. There's always a tab there for, to buy, to rent, just sold. I go on the just sold and I like to check for that particular area, what is the actual just sold price for a similar property. I'm not going to take a lot of time on this, but if I know in my head everything that I've seen is around the $16,000 mark, let's say for just an example, but the individual that I start talking to is asking 25 or 30K, I already know that we're going to have a disconnect, and it gives me a hint as to how I should navigate that conversation going forward, just so that we all have kind of realistic expectations of each other when we're having this conversation. So those are a couple of things that I do to help protect my time before I take a ton of time and a ton of investment into figuring out about this property. I suggest you do the same. Always looking for new partners. If you're interested, comment below, let me know. I'd be happy to figure out how we can work together.